Hello and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Daily Triple, your no shit gaming news video. That's 3 news stories in one video with zero faff. 10 years ago, Star Wars games were a dime a dozen, and for the most part, they were pretty decent space opera adventures. However, since EA has held a stranglehold over the IP's use in video game form, we've had significantly fewer games, and the quality of what has been supplied is questionable. Star Wars Battlefront from 2015 was an empty multiplayer-only reskin of Battlefield. Everyone knows the story of Battlefront 2's loot box situation from 2017, and only now is the game reaching the quality that it should have been back at launch. And then there's Respawn Entertainment's Jedi Fallen Order, which was greatly flawed but is still the best Star Wars game in years. EA has already cancelled multiple Star Wars projects, including the hotly anticipated Project Ragtag, which had Amy Hennig of Uncharted fame at the helm. One such project does still apparently exist, and we may be seeing it sooner than expected. But of course, take all of this with a pinch and a half of salt. All of this is based on multiple tweets by games journalists Jeff Grubb from GamesBeat and Jason Schreier of Bloomberg, both of whom have extensive insider knowledge and sources. It started with the establishment of an official Twitter account for Motive Montreal, the EA-owned dev studio supposedly working on the elusive Star Wars Maverick. In response, Schreier tweeted saying, "Looks like someone's getting ready to announce a new game." Then when probed for clarification about if this was Star Wars or a new IP, he said the former, confirming that it's Star Wars related. EA currently has 2 separate Star Wars projects in development, with one being a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order by Respawn, and the other is said to be something more unusual and smaller scale made by Motive. Jeff Grubb joined the teasing by sharing a gif of Tom Cruise's iconic character from Top Gun, known by the codename Maverick. We already know that Motive is working on Maverick, so none of this should really be a surprise, but Grubb also suggested when we might expect to hear about it. In his ongoing Jeff Grubb Summer Game Mess Twitter thread, he highlighted that on June 2nd we should expect something related to a Mel Gibson picture. The most obvious answer to that, which coincides with everything else going on, is of course Gibson's seminal 2000 classic What Women Want.
Are we in a mood today?
In reality, this is most likely a reference to his 1994 historical drama Maverick, meaning that if these journos are to be believed, the game will be officially unveiled next Tuesday, the 2nd of June. Back in March, an official store listing for the game was data mined from the PlayStation Store, showing a promotional image of an Imperial Star Destroyer facing down an X-Wing squadron with the title Project Maverick. The tweet which first shared this image has since been deleted, presumably due to copyright infringement, but Schreier confirmed that this is the game referenced in his Kotaku article, which describes Motive's unusual project. Beyond that image, nothing is known about what this game might look like, but the popular assumption is that it is some form of flight simulator due to the focus on ships. That, combined with the title being Maverick and Top Gun was all about planes, it seems like a fairly safe assumption to me, especially as Kotaku described the project as more unusual, and flight sims aren't exactly in EA's wheelhouse. Personally, I'm really up for a space combat game in the Star Wars universe, as Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 is my favourite Star Wars game of the bunch, and I'd love to see something like that make a return. However, as it is still an EA game, there are obvious concerns about it being multiplayer only or over monetized.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
If it is just Top Gun in space, I'll be more than happy, but what about you? Would you rather another shooter like Battlefront, or maybe the return of another Star Wars series like The Force Unleashed? Make sure to let me know down in the comments. And next up, before GTA 5 came around and blew the world away, its predecessor was one of the most popular games on the planet. GTA 4 was recently removed from sale on Steam, supposedly due to issues with Games for Windows Live integration. The game later had its store listing reinstated, but now a new problem has reared its head for users of the game. The soundtracks of GTA games are part of what makes the experience, but this can cause issues with licensing when the game is put up for sale after the licensing agreement has expired or changed. This forced Rockstar to remove some of the songs from the soundtrack, but they've now managed to re-add some of those cut tracks. However, this has seemingly come at the cost of players' save files. As Steam user Spagoot Noodles explained, looks like they've sorted out their expired licenses, missing songs, and radio stations are back. Even better, the update corrupted all my save files. Hell yeah. Rockstar giveth with one hand and taketh away with the other. Having the original soundtrack in the game would be nice, but I'm sure people would rather their save files aren't corrupted, but maybe that's just me. It's funny how such a little update can do so much damage. It looks like size really doesn't matter, at least when it comes to this kind of fucking. Since it is such a small update, it will hopefully be solved promptly, but once a file is corrupted, it's pretty hard to uncorrupt it. Whenever I play GTA just messing around in the sandbox, I just ran my music through Spotify or YouTube anyway. Another game which has recently gone through music licensing drama is the remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, which was revealed a few weeks weeks ago. Rock music and skateboarding love each other more than Bobby Kotick loves money, but unfortunately a number of tracks have been dropped from the remake. Apparently a total of 5 tracks will not be returning for the remake, which include Psychovision by Suicidal Tendencies, Committed by Unsane, Bring the Noise by Anthrax and Public Enemy, B-Boy Document 99 by The High and Mighty, and Out With the Old by Alley Life. The soundtrack is officially available on Spotify, but there are some absences which will actually be present in the game, and the reason they're not on the playlist is because they're just not on Spotify altogether. These include Vilify by Evenrude and Screamer by Speed Dealer. And finally, Square Enix has been very tight-lipped about its upcoming Marvel's Avengers game, so much so that you may have completely forgotten all about it. The company finally broke its silence with a brief developer update on Twitter which explained that work is still going on despite the continued Foster's Fever problem. In addition to developers promoting the message of togetherness during the pandemic, the post indicates that more info will be coming with a War Table stream on June 24th. The game is still currently set for a 4th of September release date, but we've seen very little of it, so hopefully the War Table stream will make this game seem more worthwhile, because so far I'm not particularly impressed. The game's marketing has been pretty piss poor, and I think that's probably because Square Enix itself doesn't really know what to do with it, especially given the community's feelings towards things like microtransactions and always online games. Are you one of the few people still excited by Marvel's Avengers, or are you just done with superheroes? And that's your lot for today. If you enjoyed this no shit format, go ahead and give the video a like to give it a boost, hit subscribe and the bell if you want to stay up to date on all future installments. Toss a coin to your YouTuber over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. That's all for today. I've been Henry Cooper. Bye for now.